Now, if you're not ready, then go ahead and just tell me you're not ready.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not a lawyer, but
The Debrief.
hello, and welcome to another episode of I'm Not a Lawyer, But.
The Debrief.
I am Melanie, aka I'm Not a Lawyer, But, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Gooseby, how y'all doing?
We are not lawyers or legal experts, but we have a podcast. I was about to say a podcast where we debrief legal things. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let's start at the top with a few reminders. If you want to join in when we record this podcast live, you can do so by joining the
Patreon.
You can go to patreon.com/ImNotALawyerBut to do that. We have tumblers that you can purchase and some notebooks that are still left at ImNotALawyerBut.com.
Keychains.
And keychains. And if you would like to ever leave an objection for anything I'm covering, or maybe I'm not, you can do so by going to speakpipe.com/ImNotALawyerBut. Maybe we can put some text on the screen that'll show what that is. But you have up to 1:30 to record a note, a voice memo or whatever for us to play. So those are the reminders. But let's get into the topics for the day. I want to start with Savannah Guthrie's mother, who has gone missing. I haven't made a video on this because everybody has made a video on this, and there's no like personal knowledge I can get, like I can read or understand myself. But her mother has gone missing, and it has taken over like the entire news cycle. And if you are like me, who has paid minimal attention to that case, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what has happened, just enough for you to like know what's happening, not the details. If you want the details, you should go do a deeper dive. The general story is Savannah's mother, again, whose name is Nancy, was last seen on January 31st. So low-key, it's almost been 2 weeks. And basically on the 31st, she went to her daughter and son-in-law's house for dinner and some games. So she gets there around 5:30. She catches an Uber to her daughter's house. 9:48 that same night. So she stays over there for like 4 hours. 9:48 that night, she gets back home. Okay. And she returns home after having dinner, and they drop her off. Okay. So she doesn't catch an Uber back. She gets dropped off by her family members. At 9:50, she is seen entering through her garage, and she presumably goes to bed. So that's her mom's house. So 9:50, she's seen entering her garage and presumably goes to bed. Okay. That's so almost 10 o'clock that night, the 31st. Around 1:47 in the morning, her front door camera gets disconnected. And apparently she doesn't have a subscription to her service. And so at first, what police say to the public is that they're unable to get video because she didn't have a subscription to this service. I've also read that it was another camera that detected motion. I'm a little confused on that part, but regardless, at first they publicly said they were not able to get any video. That's at 1:47, the camera gets disconnected. Around 2:30, 2:28, her pacemaker gets disconnected from her cell phone. So that is important because police predict that if she has her pacemaker and her cell phone is left at the house and they are disconnected, presumably it's because there's some distance between those things. So that would be the time in which she was taken from her house. Okay, that's 2:30-ish, around 2:28, 2:30-ish in the morning. The next morning, around noon, 11:56, she was supposed to go meet a friend to watch church online, is what I read. But she doesn't go to her friend's house. So her friend calls the family to be like, your mama didn't show up.
For church.
So then the family gets concerned. And by 12:03, they call 911 because mama's missing. So that's like the story. Now, what has since happened is that the FBI released video, which seems to be from that service that was not subscribed to. Seems like they were able to retrieve some video from that service, its Nest. So that's like a still image from the camera. These are the pictures that were retrieved, but there is an actual video. Hopefully I get to it. So this is the video of this masked person who's covering up a camera with his hand or her hand. Seems like a man, but that's unconfirmed. Right? And then he's like looking around. They are like looking around for something, it seems, to cover it. Right? And then the next video, it seems like the person is trying to put something in front of the camera to cover it.
This man got bushes, shrubbery. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So yeah, that's the person walking, putting their head down. So those are essentially the videos that have now been released. And that's basically the story. Okay. So TMZ and some other people say they get some ransom notices of the kidnappers who are saying they want like Bitcoin. And then Savannah and her siblings make some video posts, social media posts where they're like, please give me my mama back. We will pay. Please give us proof of life. And so last night, a man in Tucson gets detained, not arrested, detained. And then his mama-in-law, okay, gets on CNN and she like, they in my house. He don't even know who Savannah did. We don't know. What? This is crazy. So she's and then media is able to actually interview the man. And he's like, I don't know. I live here. I just do packages. I do Amazon. I don't know.
What's happening?
I pray that lady is able to be found and returned. This is the oddest story
It is.
I have heard in a while.
I believe it's somebody they know.
It usually is.
Yes. When something like this happens and somebody just casually walks up to your front door, this person doesn't seem like they're in any type of they have no urgency at all. He's just like,
let me get some bushes. Yeah. Let me get some shrubs.
Come on.
So
what
bizarre.
Are you doing? What are you doing with an 84-year-old lady?
Oh, somebody is saying Savannah is apparently a Bitcoin whale. What does the Bitcoin whale mean?
That means they have
a lot of Bitcoin?
Yes.
Yeah, so here's the other thing. That would require somebody to know that.
Yeah. Inside job.
Yeah.
But also with Bitcoin, I mean, I have no experience in this. Isn't all of this traceable? Like,
oh, because Bitcoin is like electronic, right?
Yeah.
So like if I transfer it to an account, y'all gonna be able to find whose account it is? I don't really know I don't understand Bitcoin. That's my truth. But all of this is giving. Y'all are talking to people in Tucson and the delivery man. Y'all might want to talk to everybody in y'all's family. That's what it's. Listen, I'm just saying from an outsider's perspective. Make sure everybody y'all know is talked to.
Yes, please, because this guy, what they were saying, it might be her.
One Bitcoin is about $7,000. Huh.
Is it?
Oh, and somebody else is saying, I don't think Bitcoin is traceable. See, I have I don't know enough about, I don't know about Bitcoin.
I thought Bitcoin was up to like 70 grand.
Like one Bitcoin would be $70,000.
$70,000.
Well, I need to know more about Bitcoin.
That's what the stock is. The stock was.
It's a stock?
Yeah. The stock was at like 130.
Is it not actual cash? Like,
but it dropped.
Cash? It's not cash. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's a stock.
Bitcoin has a stock. Their stock is each Bitcoin. You can purchase a Bitcoin for 70 grand. Last time I checked, it might be lower now.
I guess what
So yes, if
It's
you're
like
well,
gold.
I don't know, it's some electric. You know, the United States, man, we make up anything. We
I
can
don't
make
understand.
anything valuable. So it's a currency. It's a digital currency.
I don't understand it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a digital currency.
Okay.
I can't
It's
explain it. Other than
yeah.
that.
I don't. Okay. Well,
We put the value on it.
all
Basically.
I hope she's found. I'm really sorry that this is happening. I don't know enough about it. But it seems very odd to me. The whole story seems very odd to me. And based on what typically happens in these kinds of cases, although I'm not an investigator and have never managed an investigation, I would imagine, okay, that someone
Oh yeah, it's in
within their
circle,
circle
of
is going
course.
to have been responsible for this. That's what I would imagine. But I hope she is found safe.
Because somebody, if she's a Bitcoin whale, and if it's that amount of money on the line,
Yeah.
this one individual ain't coming by themselves. It's not just gonna be this random guy putting shrubbery over a ring. You like, get the hammer and
Yeah.
just knock the camera off the wall. Like, what is you doing, man?
Somebody said allegedly, the brother-in-law got gambling debts. Allegedly. See, this is the other thing that happens though. There's a bunch of like theories, and I'm like, oh, see, that's T now. Well, how he doing? How you doing, brother-in-law? Son-in-law.
Hopefully, they didn't, man. This lady being 84, she could get hurt easily. Hopefully, the mom comes back
alive and well.
Alive and well. You just slipped up, partner, because this doesn't seem like it's going to go good for you. Also, isn't it wild that your cell phone is connected to your pacemaker?
Is that wild?
I'm just saying, you have a device in your chest, in your body, connected to your phone.
Well, you know what?
It's like you're a cyborg. This is wow.
Yeah.
That is even happening these days.
You know what? I didn't realize a pacemaker is inside of you. Actually, yes, that is very interesting.
Yes.
That it would be connected. And so the fact that it's not connected anymore means that she herself is not connected. Yeah. I see. I didn't realize. I thought never mind. Y'all don't want to know what I thought it was. Disregard. The point is, that's really interesting.
It is interesting. And it makes you wonder, why can't they, is there a way to connect to the pacemaker to track it? You know, to find her or whatever. But
got it.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
It is wild.
I was wondering why it was such a big deal, but if she's a Bitcoin whale,
and she's like, what thing is Savannah on? She on Good Morning America?
I think I don't know.
Y'all are finding out way too much information about what I do and don't know about people. She's the morning anchor of the morning show. The Today Show? The Today Show or the morning show? Are they the same? See, let's disregard and get back to the things I actually know. It's the Today Show. Okay.
Co-host.
Okay. Well, again, all the best to her. I hope she is found alive and well. Let's move on to something I am a little more informed about.
Another thing, though, is I wonder if mama has life insurance.
Oh.
And if that could be something.
Somebody said the morning show is fictional. I'm thinking about the TV show on Apple. That's what happened. But isn't it based on the Today Show? Thank you for highlighting that, because I have watched the morning show.
Good Morning America, that's different too.
Oh, did I say good morning? See, get on to something I know about. I can't tell you.
I don't know nothing about any of those shows.
Let's pivot. I'm going to make sure we timestamp when we get off of this and onto something I'm more informed about. All right, let's talk about Durk. I know about that because I went to the hearing. There was a hearing this week in Durk's federal murder for hire trial that is happening in California. Quick little recap if you need it. Durk's charged. Him and five others are five others are charged with killing a person, the cousin of rapper Quando Rondo. The feds say Durk basically paid people to fly to California and follow Quando Rondo and kill him, but they mistakenly killed his cousin instead when they were at the gas station. The shooters got out, they're caught on video, spray up the car, and the cousin ends up dying instead of Quando Rondo. But now all of these people have been charged. That's the setup. So I go to the hearing, and I have gone to, I would argue, every single hearing for this trial from the beginning, like since he was first arrested. And obviously there was a motion for bond. Like I have gone to all since that one, which was packed. That first one was packed. Of course, over time, you have these hearings that are just in between and like the attendance gets low. But this last hearing I just went to was the most people I've seen. It probably rivals the amount of people who were at the first bond hearing. But there have been a number of ongoing motions, and so this judge like refuses to make an order, and it has become very annoying. He just keeps saying, "I'll take it under submission. We'll talk about I'll think about it and give you an order." And he just does not make any orders. So this whole hearing, he like didn't make an order except one ruling he made, which was actually good news for Durk. Basically, the prosecutors are trying to use Durk's lyrics against him, which is not uncommon in these kinds of cases. And so one of the lyrics, it's like probably 12 lyrics that they are trying to use, but one of the lyrics, basically Durk says on the song, what is the lyric? It's like you're gonna have to, I'm the type to hop on a flight with a warrant. You gotta catch him. You gotta get me. The way he says is kind of cool. But anyway, he says, I'm the type to hop on a flight with a warrant. You gotta catch me. And so and prosecutors were trying to say that that is evidence that he was fleeing the country when he found out that there was a warrant for his arrest, and he found out that his co-defendants had been arrested. That's what they were trying to tie that to. So if you recall, when Durk was arrested for this case, the cops caught him at the airport. He was about to catch a flight to like somewhere that doesn't have extradition.
So they are still using rap lyrics in I mean, thought that was a thing that was
it's been a long fight, but that's not like a law that you can't. Well, and this is so here's what I should say, because I've seen people say it's a California law, and I don't know that to be true or not, but this is a federal case is what I will say. And so federally, this can happen. That's what I should say. And so this they are trying to use the lyrics, and he was caught at the airport, like I said. And so they were trying to show that this is evidence that he was intending to flee, because his attorneys fought that had nothing to do with that. He actually had booked a couple flights, but for different reasons, this is how it just played out. But they were saying he was not trying to flee. And so the judge ended up ruling at this hearing that lyric cannot be used in the trial. So prosecutors are not able to point to that as proof that he was trying to flee. So that's the only order that has been made. But they have a bunch of other lyrics that the judge has not ruled on. They have some music videos that the judge has not ruled on. They have some text messages, voice memos. They have a ton of stuff that they are trying to use in this trial that the judge has not ruled on. So that's like overall synopsis. A few highlights that I wanted to say, though, from going. One of the arguments for the lyrics from Durk's attorneys is that prosecutors, the way the music industry works is that writers contribute to and write music for people.
That's true.
Also, music executives weigh in with notes and changes, producers weigh in with notes and changes, and engineer. And there's a whole business around producing music. And what even, sometimes executives direct their people. It made me think of Pink. Remember the singer Pink? And she has been very vocal about, if you remember the beginning Pink, I used to love the beginning Pink. There you go. Looking pitiful. She was very different than who she is, who she became musically, right? The artist that she is. And so what she said is when she was first signed, they made her be that artist that she was at the beginning. Over time, she was able to get control of her career and who she was. And so she was able to make different kinds of music. She became more like punk rockerish. But at the beginning, it was very R&B. And so anyway, the point is, Durk's attorneys are arguing that there's so much influence in music, and music is art. And so it's unfair to use that to substantiate your claims, right? It's not fair.
Half the time, people rapping are just, like you say, it's art.
Yeah.
You know? So, and they're not telling the truth about flying here and flying there. I got this, I got that.
Yeah.
I'm rich, my money, my blah, blah, blase, blase. So, yeah, it shouldn't ever be used in a court of law. I think it's all fictional stuff.
And you know what? I have been, because we've talked a little bit about music before, and I have been like, if you outright snitch, like, and you telling the story, we went up to the gas station. I told him get out. Then they shot, but they ended up killing his cousin. And I was there and I told him to do it. I need to have a different conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what you do. However, though, let me tell you what.
Over the camera.
However, I will say, as I was sitting in that hearing, that was the first time that I actually started feeling like, I don't even know if I agree with that anymore. Here's why. The attorney, his attorney is Drew Findling, and Marissa, I can't remember her last name, but she was up there like, Your Honor, Drew and I have defended a number of musicians, and from Boosie to, they have defended rappers. And she's like, we are very well versed in lyrics being used and trying to be used in court. And there is not a single case where you will find in any kind of appeal or anywhere where a judge has ruled, or some higher court has ruled, that lyrics are enough to be used as evidence. There's no judge has ever said, yes, this is like good, substantial evidence. No one has said that. So it was to hear them argue because of who they are and how many people they've defended in this area was really interesting. And so she's talking about music is art and no other art form is treated this way. And of course, I've heard that before. And she talks about acting, right? And the fact that actors who play in movies and things like that, if they kill somebody in a movie, that's not later used to show that they killed somebody in real life. Like, that's never happened because it's not real. And so I was like, well, that's a fair point. And as she was talking, I thought about, remember Burn by Usher?
Yeah.
And so many of us, I attributed that song to his life. Like, Usher cheated and he did that. Only later to learn that was based off of something JD was going through, not Usher. And for me,
we thought he cheated on Chili.
We thought and I think he did. Oh. However, he didn't make no baby.
Okay.
And I think the song was actually based, and of course JD was a producer for Usher and Brian Michael Cox, and it's all of these collaborators who are coming up, who could be basing a song off of real life instances, but it's not exact.
Yep.
And there are contributing confessions. I keep saying Burn. My brain is not, it's been off, y'all. But I mean,
the album, right?
No.
Burn, let it burn.
Yeah, but it's Confessions. It was Confessions.
Oh.
Thank you for correcting me, child.
But Burn too, he was talking about cheating.
But I'm talking about Confessions.
Okay.
I'm talking about Confessions because Confessions was based on JD. However, what ended up happening is we attributed that to Usher. And so as this argument is happening at the hearing, I think about that and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, because we have done that in real life. And that is a clear example of music, that if somebody used that against him, like in court, it's about cheating. But if that was used in that's not it's not the truth. It's not based on Usher. Yes, he sang it, but that's not, And so anyway, for the first time I was like, you know what? I actually don't think I don't think that you should be able to use lyrics. I think it really is an art form. And when you consider how many people contribute to that process, it is unfair. It is unfair. And even when you think about people who write, let's say like people who write horror movies, right? Or it's like Stephen King. Like when you think about those people, I absolutely am like, they're probably a little weird, but I don't know that that's ever been used against a writer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know another art form that is treated this way. And so, well, shout out to Fulio. It's a good, hey.
Project Pat too. I believe he was locked up for his lyrics in one of his songs, and he fought that case. I'm not sure what happened with it, but they just do it to black folk
well, and that's the other argument that's
because
made. It's like specific to rap music.
yes.
It's not any other like genres.
Yeah, it's they just do it to us. I hear what you're saying, and I do agree a little bit. But if somebody has a rap song
that is specific,
yes,
you're still with it.
Yeah, they were doing the podcast. She had this shirt on.
Yeah,
the rep was on this shirt.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
bro, you did that.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is the way it's used. If it's used as a starting point, I feel like that is unfair. I don't feel like you should listen to a song and then get the evidence to back up the song. You should get the evidence, and then if you come across a song that happens to verify what you found, I think that's a different story.
Of course.
And in some of these cases, the other thing I think that comes across is that some of the prosecutors and investigators, officers, I think you see that with YSL even, it's like they start with the music. They're so familiar with these artists and their songs and what they're talking about that they start with the music and not with the evidence. And so anyway, just something I was feeling, and I was like, who am I becoming? Because I didn't feel this way. It made me feel like, oh my gosh, girl, are you too ingrained? Are you getting too far over that? The fact that I'm
too far over.
I'm I don't know, evolving in how I feel.
The way they treat us and the way the justice system is, you can't, they be lying and they be sneaky. So
yeah, that's true.
To present somebody their song first, we know music is influence. So let this jury see. I'm gonna use T.I. song. Hurt. You better catch me first. You're gonna get hurt. Murk. Put them in the dirt. If you put that song on before I get to see this man, I'm obviously gonna think, oh, this is a killer. This is outright, but T.I. ain't nothing like that. The man is articulate and has a posture about himself that wouldn't represent that song. So music.
I don't know that I agree with that, but okay, go ahead.
I agree with it.
Okay.
Or the other guys that were on the song with him, Busta Rhymes was on the song. You don't think about killing and stuff when you think about Busta Rhymes, but you would if we say, hey, this is his hot new single. You know?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't put the songs. People agree with you.
Yeah. T.I. is the little, let's love him, but hey. Couple questionable things. But regardless, anyway, it's not neither here nor there.
The song shouldn't come first. The song is going to be influential, and the song doesn't represent the person themselves. The artist and the person are two different things.
That can be true too. I agree. I agree with that. Anyway, it was just a kind of a moment I was having as I was in that hearing, because it was the first time that I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know that I fully agree to how I once felt. But also I do, Coretta is saying like, it's such low hanging fruit. And I do.
It is.
It's also not a smart idea, right? Like if you're a rapper involved in questionable things, rapping about anything surrounding that is also not smart. So, but two things that happened in the hearing while that conversation is happening, right, the attorneys are like, if they want to use this evidence, they should have to prove who wrote it, when it was actually released, not when it was put on YouTube, but when it was completed, when producers completed it, when they sent these files, if additional people made changes, if they should have to prove that. And the prosecutor, he said this in a way that I was like, now you sound dumb. He said to the judge, Your Honor, if the defense wants to challenge what we're saying by saying that it could be different writers, then they should show it, as if the defense should show when the songs were written. And so I think me and the defense attorney laughed at the same time, because the way, in case you are unaware, the burden of proof is always on the prosecutors. And so to say to a defense attorney, if you're saying we're wrong, prove it. That's not how that works. If you're saying something is right, you have to prove it. And so quite literally, that's basically what the judge said. He kind of interrupted him like, well, you can't burden shift. Like, they don't have to prove anything. You have to prove it. It was very like, what are y'all even saying? This is not, are you guys federal prosecutors? Because why would you say that out loud? Anyway, that is that. And then the last thing before we move on is
you mentioned to me Durk looked healthy, like he was
he
out the hole.
yeah. So he had been in the hole since like August or September, October. I think maybe October. He had been in the hole since October. And so the last hearing, not this one I went to this week, the previous hearing, his attorneys were like, Your Honor, he's been in there for months and they're not giving, like, there's for no reason. And so at that previous hearing, the judge was like, I'm going to make some calls. And my hope is that before we meet again, he is out. And he has very clearly been out of the hole. He looked healthier. He looked fuller, and he came in smiling. He looked healthier, like he'd been eating. Yeah. So that's for sure. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is that there is a motion for severance. Okay. There's Durk and then these other defendants, and the other defendants have asked to be severed from Durk, meaning they want Durk to have his own trial, and then they want their own trial separately. The judge has not ruled on that either. But that's such an interesting request, because I believe that it makes the prosecutor's job harder, right? They're fighting to keep them together. The defendants, what's key about Durk's connection to this case is that the prosecutors are saying he is the one who had the motivation. He is the motive. He is the one who put out the bounty, and he is the one who rewarded the people who executed the bounty, even though they didn't do what they were supposed to. He is the person who had the actual beef with Quando Rondo. And so they need his part of the story, right? Need it. I'm saying loosely, just follow me. They need his part of the story to show why Quando Rondo's truck was shot up.
Yep.
Right? If you separate these trials, right? In Durk's case, you're focusing on his motive and then what happened. In the other defendant's case, I'm not a lawyer, but it seems the prosecutors would be less able to have evidence admitted regarding Durk's motive for it, right? And so when you separate it, so as an example, follow me a little bit. There is a motion on the table to exclude 403 and 404B evidence, okay? And all of that evidence is really specific to Durk, because the prosecutors want to talk about the death of King Von, who, of course, was Durk's best friend, and Quando Rondo's team killed Durk's best friend. So the prosecutors are like, we need to be able to talk about this so that we can tell the jurors the story. And the other defendants are like, that ain't got nothing to do with us. That's Durk's beef with Quando Rondo. We have nothing to do with that. So give us a separate trial, because that wouldn't be able to be included in our trial, right? Then they want to talk about in 2021, there was Quando Rondo's there was a shootout involving Quando Rondo, right? Attempt on his life. And prosecutors are like, that was the first hit Durk tried to have put on Quando Rondo. And again, the other defendants are like, y'all are saying that's Durk's first hit. That has nothing to do with us. So if we get a separate trial, all that can't come in. So that's going to be better for us. But if we have the same trial, all of that can also be attributed and applied. Jurors are going to see us as one. So they're separate because, again, that has nothing to do with us. It's going to prejudice us. So that's their argument.
Who wants this? Durk's?
Well, Durk hasn't opposed it, but the people who filed the motion are the other defendants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it is what the judge has ruled is he hasn't decided if that King Von stuff, if Quando Rondo's there's a murder in Chicago, Stephen Mack, that happened in 22, that prosecutors want that in too. Again, had nothing to do with the other people, but they're trying to tie it to Durk.
So are you saying Durk is tied to this other murder?
Prosecutors are saying.
Okay.
Prosecutors are saying it was basically off his word again. And so they're like, this shows the structure of OTF, that there are people in OTF who are, because OTF is his music label, but their claim is that there's a subgroup of OTF that are like criminals. And so they want to show this other murder was committed by the criminals of OTF, and Durk is his, that. So they want to show that. But again, these other defendants are like, that has nothing to do with us. So leave us out of it. So what has happened is the judge, which is a smart defense move for them, right? And so the judge has said, once I rule on this 403 and 404B evidence, then I will decide if y'all should be severed. So basically, if I let it in, then I might let y'all have a separate trial. But if I say that evidence can't come in, then it makes sense for y'all to keep the same trial. So that's like the biggest, outside of the lyrics and the music videos, stuff like that, that's the biggest thing that we are waiting on. The judge is expected he said in the hearing, he's going to have a decision by the end of this week. Today is Wednesday. We're recording this on Wednesday. So we'll see if he actually does, because he takes a long time. Then he don't be doing stuff. So we're still waiting. But I think it's all very interesting. And I think anytime there's a motion to sever, it's smart on the defense's end, because it lessens, in my opinion, lessens the ability for prosecutors to tell the fullest story that they want to tell, because now certain evidence can come in for you, but can't come in for you.
And it lightens the sentencing. You might not look as bad if you're tied to Durk or vice versa. So
well, the judge is going to do the sentencing. So
that's what I'm saying. So if the judge is like, dang, you did this too, and you tied to this murder,
he knows the whole story.
And you tied to this murder.
Oh, okay. But he knows the whole story, though. You know what I'm like? The judge will have all the context, because he's the one making he knows this same judge would be the one to be like, all right, y'all can be separate. But he still has, he's going to oversee the trial.
Well, at that point, what's the whole purpose of separate?
The jurors don't know. The jurors are not going to. So they may not convict you if they're not getting the fullest of the story.
Oh, okay. So okay. Yes. Correct. That's basically what I said.
Okay.
Lighten the load. Yeah.
So anyway, that is what's happening. And then last thing I just want to say, yes.
They postponed the case too, right?
Well, no, the judge, no. The judge has to decide if there is a severance, then that means we need new trial dates for the severed defendants. If they stay together, it's sounding like it may move anyway. So they're going to have another hearing in 2 weeks. So we'll see kind of what happens. But it was this is what I was getting at. I use enjoy just because I don't know another word right now, because I also recognize the severity of like what I'm going to look at and witness and all of that. Like, it's not like games in there. These are people's real lives. However, I do enjoy, again, using loosely, being there in person and being able to see what's going on for myself and like confidently be able to relay what I witnessed outside. That said, when I am there, I am oftentimes reminded of my platform and the fact that I'm posting and anyone can come across my content. Like, you don't have control over who sees and doesn't see what you put out. If you put it out, hey, it goes out into the ether. So that said, when I go to these things, I'm reminded that like, I don't know who sees my stuff, right? And so I'm there, and sometimes I will come across people who are familiar with me. Obviously, I'm not familiar with them necessarily, but they are familiar with my content and blah, blah, blah. What I am realizing is that I don't always like that part, mainly because in the back of my head, sometimes when I'm making content, I'm like, oh, so they may watch this video. And I don't ever want to be influenced, not directly. It's not like somebody is like, you better only say good stuff. And I'm not saying that happened with this Durk case. It's just something that I've started to realize, especially when I went to Diddy or when what happens is I'm like, oh, as I'm making a video, this person may see it. And I take pride in my hope to be as neutral as possible. And when I am aware of people watching my content from one side or another, I just don't want to be influenced by that. I don't want to start to alter how I truly feel about something simply because I know one side is watching. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it was just a very interesting thing that I've been recognizing and reminding myself of as I like actually go to these things in person and meet people again on both sides. But it's just like, oh shoot, that's a reality.
I think we all don't do this, but before you comment on a post or before you make a post on Instagram, you're like, ooh, I ain't gonna put that.
Yeah.
Such might see it. Or
Yeah.
this might be read the wrong way.
Right.
You know. So, and especially like you're saying, dealing with trials and serious
these are people's lives.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah. Even when it's so funny, when I started making this content, obviously I like worked for years at Netflix, and some of my ex coworkers follow me on social media. And so when I'm first making content, I'm like, are my old boss gonna see this? And what are they, so it's just like it's just a like unconscious, sometimes conscious, but like thing of like who actually is watching this. And what I want to constantly remind myself is like, that may be the case, but to be true to how I feel about something, or like what my take is on something, or like I just want to be true to the authenticity of that and not allow interactions with anyone to affect that. My neutrality is what I am hoping to always aim for. So anyway, I just wanted to say that out loud because it's something I had been thinking about. I was going to say, if you feel like I am leaning one side versus the other, I was going to say, you should let me know. Don't let me know. Cause y'all don't know how to just let me know nicely. Y'all be like, you're just biased. And then I'd be like,
you're doing a good job at it.
Yeah. Well, and I try to,
one
but
side or the other, other than the obvious type of situations. But I think you spit what the facts are.
I try. But
take it or leave it.
Anyway, it was just a, realization kind of a thing I experienced as I continue to go to these hearings. And again, nothing specific from this. Please don't take this as like Mel's getting threatened by. That is not the intention. That is not happening at all. Let me be very clear, because I don't want the internet to take a story and run. That is not happening. I have interacted with attorneys on both sides actually of this case, just because I have questions sometimes. So I'll be like, hey, you mind if I ask you a question? I have done that. Everyone is very nice. That is not what's happening. It is just me. Okay. Just so we're clear.
I'm going with it for now.
Moving on. Let's go to Brendan Banfield. That is a case I put out out of Virginia, where a man who was an IRS investigator, him and his au pair, which is like a live-in nanny from a different country, basically.
Au pair is a service that...
It's a nanny. It's a live-in nanny.
Au pair is a company, or is au pair, the nanny is called an au pair?
It's called an au pair. Like the nanny, like I have an au pair. I'm an au pair.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that phrase. I thought it was a company. So a living nanny is an au pair. Okay, cool.
I believe au pair is specific to a live-in nanny from another country.
Oh,
And so this IRS investigator and his au pair, kill his wife, and his wife, and you know what is so weird about this case? The whole thing is weird, but he thought he was planning. He like really went out to try and plan this perfect thing. Like, you know how we're going to create the emails. We're going to use her computer to create the emails. We're going to go on a fetish site because fetishes obviously do something wild and crazy. And it just results in, I thought he was a robber. I killed him. He really thought that was going to work.
Yep.
I see why. Like, I see how you start off thinking this is a good idea, but like, it actually was terrible.
I don't understand.
It was terrible.
I don't understand how he even thought of this idea. It's not
no.
Too many things could go wrong.
That's so true.
You would, oh my goodness. And you killed 2 people behind wanting to be with this nanny. Well,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, he also like had a pattern of cheat. This man just cheats. The prosecutor was like, you cheated with your best friend's partner too, huh? A wife. And he was like, well, it wasn't his wife. And it's like, wait, what? What are we talking about? Hold on. Brendan, you're worried about the wrong part of that.
We're talking about this as if the listeners know the story.
Oh, sorry. Okay. If you haven't watched my recap, I did a recap on this case. A man named Brendan Banfield, again, is an IRS investigator.
Yes.
And what ends up happening, I'm going to say the story as if, well, he was convicted. So I'm going to tell the story as it was. He and his wife have an au pair because they have a 4-year-old daughter. And so him and the au pair begin a relationship. I don't even have the clip, and I meant to get the clip. In the trial, he is asked when he's on the stand how the relationship started between him and the au pair.
Mhm.
And it's so annoying to listen to. Oh, I meant to clip it because I wanted to play it for this episode. Basically, he's like, my wife was gone one day and I was at the house, and the au pair, Juliana, right? She's like, yeah, I've been on Hinge or whatever, some dating app. And she said like she wasn't having much luck, basically. And so I think he either he asked or she asked, or she tells him like, look at all the people that I've been interested in or I've selected. And so as she is showing him the men on the app, the dating app that she's interested in, all of the names are similar to his. It's like Brandon and Brendan and Brendan. Like, it's a bunch of names that, this is him on the stand describing this. It's a bunch of names that are similar to my name. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like, you're interested in people, you know, whose names are similar to me. So then they have like basically a little flirt session. And then he's like, I'm going to bed. And she follows him up the stairs, and his bed is to the right and hers is to the left. And once they get to the top of the stairs, she's like, I'm coming to your room. And then they go into the room. And that was like it's so, no, you guys, as I was listening, I was like cringing because it was the cringiest story.
And he's saying it's on the stand.
Yeah, he's on the stand, like all the names were like my name. And so anyway, they start this relationship. And what he said over time, he said he never intended on leaving or separating from his wife because he was like, I've cheated before. I never wanted to leave her.
This man has his wife and his babysitter.
Yes.
They all live in the same house.
Yes.
There was no need to get rid of your wife. Just play it out, man. You live with them both.
Yes. So according to Juliana, because obviously she gets a deal, but she gets on the stand and says that he starts mentioning he wants to get rid of his wife because divorce wasn't an option, because if they got divorced, the wife would get the daughter and he would have to pay her some money or she would get money. So divorce wasn't an option.
And Juliana is the au pair.
Yes. And so he's telling, Brendan is telling Juliana he wants to get rid of her. And so by December, early January, he has decided we're going to use this fetish website. So we're going to create this account using the wife's computer. So what would happen is when the wife would come home and she would drop her backpack down, they basically would sneak and get her laptop out of her backpack and use it, right? So they created this a brand new email, created a account using that email on the fetish site, and then they start fielding through people because they needed a person who would be interested in like aggressive fetish play, and eventually they wanted to be able to be like, bring a knife with the fetish play because I like it like extra creepy.
Yes.
And so the first few people that they find on the fetish site, they are like, I'm interested, but like, let's meet in person. Like, let's meet in person in the daylight before I have to like fake assault you. And they're like, no, we don't want to meet in person. So they're denying anyone who wants to meet in person. They're denying anyone who wants to do it at a hotel. They're denying anyone who is not agreeing to come to the house for the very first time, open the door, never like, don't knock. You just come upstairs with your knife and your rope and your stuff. You come in my bedroom and you assault me, basically. One of the men that they messaged, I put it in my video because the man is like, this doesn't look good for me. Like,
If
if
anything goes wrong.
anything goes wrong, I'm screwed.
Yep.
And they're like, you're out. So then they come across the victim. I can't even think of his name right now. They come across him and he is down for the cause. He's like, looking forward to Friday. See you at the house. And he takes a picture of like the supplies he's gotten, including the knife. And then the knife is like, Juliana said when the picture came through, Brendan was mad. Joe Ryan, thank you. That's the name of the person they selected, the man. When the picture, Joe Ryan sends the picture of the supplies through, like, can't wait till Friday. Juliana said Brendan was mad because it's not like a knife you think of generally. That thing looked like it was like a rounded,
like a spatula type.
it was like a rounded knife.
Yeah.
So Juliana said Brendan was mad because he was like, why he ain't gonna just bring up a pointy
A
knife?
real knife.
Yeah, like what are you doing? So anyway, the day comes and Juliana is supposed to be going to the zoo with the 4-year-old, spending the day at the zoo. And Brendan has some important meeting at work. And so he leaves early to get a head start on his day. Juliana hangs out in the neighborhood, the cul-de-sac. She doesn't actually leave. And then she all of a sudden realizes she left their lunches. So she's supposed to go back to the house. And as she sees, pulls up at the house, she sees Joe Ryan's car and she sees him walk into the house. So then she's freaking out, thinking someone's breaking in at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, going through the front door. She thinks someone is breaking in. And so she calls the wife, who, mind you, Brendan had taken her phone that morning, turned it off and hid it in a drawer so that when the call was coming through, she would never have it. And then Juliana is freaking out, can't contact Christine. So let me call Brendan and say, oh my gosh, someone's at the house. Now, Brendan, who left early for work, was at McDonald's.
Spending.
But he's so dumb.
30, 40 minutes.
This man has hung out at McDonald's for 30 minutes.
Circling
40.
the parking lot.
He circles the drive-through. He then eats his food across the street of the McDonald's. He like parks his car and eats his food. He
stays in the McDonald's bathroom.
Well,
like
then he
10
comes
minutes.
back to the McDonald's because he goes across the street to eat. He comes back to the parking lot, goes inside the bathroom, the restroom, is in there for quite a number of minutes. Then finally comes out on the phone because now Juliana has called him to say someone is there, and he just happens to be up the street so he can rush back. Yeah. So he rushes back, goes in, opens the door. He thought it was an affair. I just assumed it was an affair. But when I open the door, it sounds like she's being hurt. I have my gun. I shoot. He says, homeboy stabs her, but Juliana said, no, Brendan got on top of her and stabbed her. And then Juliana shoots the guy because he's moving. So he gets shot twice. They die. That's the story. Well, after the incident, police go back to the house. Well, the day of, they take pictures of the house and Juliana's in her own bedroom, right? But when they come back 8 months later, they go to the house to have a search warrant and they realize all of Juliana's stuff is in the master bedroom, and the pictures of Brendan and his wife are now replaced with pictures of Juliana and Brendan.
And the police overheard the 4-year-old daughter saying to Juliana,
are you going to be my mom now?
Yes. Are you going to be my mom?
Are you going to marry my dad and be my mom now? Oh, yeah. And as Brendan is on the stage on the stand, and he's describing when he came in the house and he's listening, and what he hears is skin on skin. He's just so cringe.
My question
is,
this is what I don't understand, is when, what's his name?
Joseph Ryan.
When Joseph Ryan entered the house, who was there?
Just her. She's in her room.
So then how does they
tell him what to do. We're going to leave the door unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Come inside the house, go upstairs. This is the room.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door and assault me. I'm saying assault, but like use your knife and like aggressively engage.
That is so wild.
So that is such a tormented way to like do your wife, like to kill her like that, to first have her think she's being assaulted in her house. Like, how scary. And then you come in and stab her.
That's what
disgusting. What a terrible human you are.
People are crazy. That is wild for you to think through this and implement it and do it.
Yes.
People are wild, man. Look, I'm not. Oh my goodness. You see this person every day. This is your wife. And in the back of your head, you're planning all this.
Plotting to do this to her. The mother of it
versus
divorce.
A divorce, or versus, hey man, we got a good thing going.
Yeah.
My side piece is in the house with me. My wife doesn't know. I don't think she knows. Just live life.
Yes.
But you go, and then the innocent man.
I know, the poor man who's just there to do his little fantasy thing. He's just on the website trying to do his little fantasy
He's on
thing.
a website that does
He's supposed to do this.
He's not doing anything
this
wrong.
Poor man had no idea what he was signing up for.
And you just man.
What terrible. Yeah.
Banfield should get life. This is the life without parole type of sentence. Like, dude should get tortured for what he did to those people.
It's so sad.
And then to hear him on the stand lying about it.
Yeah.
And telling the story, you would be like, oh man, this guy, you was just straight evil.
Yeah. Somebody said, just keep cheating. For real. Like, honestly, just keep cheating on me. Don't kill me. My gosh.
Man.
So many other options here. But wait, so there was a lot of crazy parts. This is not the craziest part. But what ended up happening after Brendan testifies. So what happens, right, when a defendant chooses to take the stand? It's not like other witnesses where prosecutors are able to interview them and get a heads up on what they're going to say. Like, the defendant chooses during the trial if they are going to testify or not. The judge says you have the right to testify. You also do not. You don't have to. And the jurors cannot hold that against you. Do you want to testify? Brendan is like, yup. So of course, anything he says is going to be a surprise to prosecutors. They don't know that he's going to be like, this is the way this happened. Okay. So he gets on the stand and he testifies. He testifies for 2 days, but the day after, after his first day of testimony, a man contacts the prosecutors because when Brendan was on the stand, again, to the surprise of everyone, he says, I had a very important meeting that morning, right? I was going to have a meeting where I could possibly be promoted. It was so important that I had to get there early. So this is to the surprise of everybody, assuming outside of his attorney. What happens that day is Brendan's old boss contacts the prosecutor.
Y'all better be nice to y'all coworkers. Wherever you work at right now, be nice to everybody.
His boss reached out to the prosecutors and said, Your Honor, when we left here yesterday, after Brendan talked about his little meeting, his old boss reached out and said, Hey, I have some information that's contrary to what he said on the stand. So we want to put him on the stand, Your Honor. This boss, first of all, when that came out, Brendan's face was like, he was like, well, who? Wait, what?
Dummy.
Then that boss gets on the stand. He looked like he was like waiting.
Yes.
Call me.
Yeah.
He gets on that stand. I was his boss. Yep. He actually had another boss, but that boss was out of the country. And so per the IRS, I had to step in as his boss. I was his boss. We didn't have no meeting that morning. He lying, Your Honor. There was no meeting.
Bobby.
No meeting. I don't know. And then the prosecutor is like, well, Brendan said he had another man. Is there anyone else that he could have been referring to that he had a meeting with if it wasn't you? Nobody, Your Honor. Nope. It was me. There was no meeting. It was the perfect way to end that case. It was amazing. I was in here cracking up because yes, please. So anyway, Brendan got convicted.
Can you imagine your old boss that you cussed out or you?
Oh my gosh.
You never did your job and they seeing you in court and was like, hold up.
Not me.
I like to come in. How do you
call the prosecutor?
This man walks in the courtroom.
Oh, so funny.
That is wild.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that. So
this is another case though of individuals killing their partners and leaving their children just out here.
Yeah, it's so sad. These kids are just left now.
What was the mama Gotti? What was her last name?
Donna. I'm about to say Hathaway. That's not right. My brain.
Donna, her kids. Well, no, I guess the mom is still around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But how these people are just
Adelson. We don't know. I promise I know. It's too much stuff in my brain, apparently.
Something needs to, I don't know what's happening, why people think they should just take people's lives just for a good time. I mean, come on, man. This one takes the cake when it's you just find a random
person, who had nothing to do with this. That is
with it.
That is so evil. It is evil.
I mean, come
on. So all of that to say, Juliana, the au pair, is the one who really helped this case come together for them because she took her deal. She took a plea deal and got on that stand and testified. And so as, the trade-off for for agreeing to testify was prosecutors said that they were going to recommend that she be sentenced to time served. She's been in there for about 2 years. And she's going to be sentenced in 2 days. I think on Friday, she gets her sentencing. The judge can go more than time served, but that's what they're recommending in exchange for her helping them take down Brendan Banfield. And I was like, when I realized that after hearing the whole story, I was like, I mean, I understand wanting to take him down. You should. He's clearly the person behind this. He's the mastermind. I believe that that's the mastermind. However, this woman, what she did, 2 time served is wild to me. And just a reminder of how much power these prosecutors have. They can make this offer to her. They can, again, the judge can go outside of that. But when you think about cases where other people don't get those kinds of deals, when prosecutors are not as nice to them, and then you see a case like, I'm just like, I mean, 5, 7 years, something. Time served is great. She could go home on Friday if that is what the judge agrees to. That's a little wild to
2
me.
people are gone.
Yes.
And you get 2 years.
Yes.
And you were a part of it.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
I
That would be
just
super crazy.
yeah,
how do you,
she said he was still moving, so I shot him because she did a shot. She shot
yeah, she
the
shot the
man.
dude.
That poor man did nothing
And
to you.
and you knew of the plan. So you're as guilty as old boy is. That's
Yeah.
Brendan. Is it Brendan? Or
Brendan Banfield, yep.
Yeah, you're as guilty as he is. You
Yeah.
could have stopped this. You could have
Yeah.
prevented everything from happening. But
Yeah.
you went on through it. Then you moved your shit in this lady room.
And ladies,
Probably in the
oh
same
my-
bed. Like
yeah. Put her pictures up with that man.
he was evil as hell.
I just feel like that is crazy. So
Shit.
anyway, that's the Brendan Banfield story. If you haven't watched, I mean, we gave you a recap here, but if you want the full story with all the shenanigans, you should absolutely go watch the recap I made. But we have some objections. We have some people call in about this particular case. So I want to play what the folks had to say. Here we go. Let's see.
Hey Mel, hey Greg. On this Brandon Banfield murder of his wife, where he thought he did the perfect murder. Yeah, I object to his whole story. I am definitely for the au pair. She's a very good actress. The way she behaved when the police came was very convincing. But the way that it was planned out, I'm thinking it was all him. She's gonna get that money though. Listening to those opportunities that are now coming her way. Hopefully the young lady who died or the young man who was killed, both were innocent in all of this. Hopefully their families will be able to get some of the proceeds from whatever opportunity she takes advantage of from their loss. You guys are doing a great job.
What money is she talking about?
So the journalists started reaching out to Juliana while she was in jail and they're offering money to do her story. Basically, they want to do, like documentaries and want to do first 48 hours. She was up there like, should I say it? Should I say? Because he said, have people been reaching out like media? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, who? And she's like, should I say it? Should I say it? Josh from 48 hours and this person from this thing. And this, like, she's like, people have, I mean, because of course it's like salacious and it's splashy. It's it's like perfect for a documentary. It's perfect for crazy story, cheating. It's all of that. So people already were working on her, trying to talk to her mama, her sister, her family, trying to get the background. They trying to put a whole little thing together. And they are giving her money while she's in prison. They're putting money on her books. They're giving her all types of stuff. And then there was conversation about some payments after, they're able to put their stuff together. And she like, well, that's about 30,000 in our money. She talking to her family. That's some real money in if we get 15,000 US and convert that back to the Brazilian money, we in there. So yeah, she supposed to be getting some money off this.
That is
Crazy.
Man, put her in jail and don't let her do nothing. She shouldn't benefit from this shit at all.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
Yeah.
They allowing people. This is wow, we wild.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
Let me
I sustain her objection other than that lady getting money behind this.
Let me play it. Next one.
Hey guys, longtime listener and father to father. Greg has never had a bad take in his life. I just need my boy to know that. But my objection is for the Brendan Banfield case. It doesn't make any sense to me at all that Juliana would be able to get time served for this, even by both of their stories. They both colluded on this and clearly lied about it. Unless I'm missing something, there was no essay on the wife, right? So they keep telling the story about hearing slapping and moaning turning painful or pleasurable. But as far as the evidence has shown, nothing physically happened to her other than the stab wounds. So where did that story come from, especially with how Brendan tells it that they were doggy bent over? None of it makes sense to me. And even going beyond that, after Joe Ryan was shot in the face, that clearly it didn't kill him by both of their stories. So Juliana killed him, regardless if he was going to die from the headshot. He didn't, and she shot him. And then, based on the evidence, the way the body was placed, it was with his hands over the wound so that it wouldn't be seen. So she's a murderer, right? Like, regardless, even if we can't count Christine, she killed Joe Ryan, so she should also get a longer sentence. I don't know. I would be heartbroken if the judge decided not to give her a longer sentence. But thanks, guys. Love the show. Have a great night.
I sustain and I appreciate everything you said, my man.
Judge Greg has had many bad takes, first of all. So
why are you gonna say
I'm
that?
going to
Nobody
overrule
even
that.
asked you.
I'm going to overrule that. However, that is a good point. I'm happy you said that because it was the way he described, we just heard skin on skin, but he is accurate. The DNA testing, right? The testing that was done showed that there was none of Joe Ryan's DNA in the private areas of Christine. They did not interact. So I don't know what he's talking about maybe the slapping was him physically slapping her, if that's what they told him to do in the messages. But the actual DNA crossing was not did not happen. The DNA his DNA was not on her area. Did not happen. So that's just a bizarre, like, gross
Banfield
thing to add.
Banfield walked into his room and they were both probably sitting there like, what is happening? Why is he in my house? And he shoots, stabs, kills them all, and then lays their bodies down in whatever positions, which is sinister, man.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead. Next.
Yes, and he was fully clothed. Joe was. All right, here we go. Number 3.
So you can't get skin on skin.
Good afternoon. I'm not a lawyer. What? I just want to comment on the au pair case. I'm curious why the boss took the time to come in and say that didn't happen. He must really not like him, because I can't imagine someone coming in voluntarily and just to speak against a person specifically. So I'm kind of curious what the relationship between him and the boss.
I sustain. Well, no. You said you can't understand why he would do that. I do understand why. I worked at a building. I ain't gonna say the name.
Gonna justify against
Yes. I'm coming up there. Listen. I was a maintenance manager over a facility manager. So all of the work orders that came in, I distributed them out, right? There was this one guy. He got the job because his best friend was the director of facilities, right?
Gosh.
This guy knew nothing about anything. He didn't know what an Allen wrench was. He didn't know what a wire nut was. I kept my distance away from him and I gave him the simplest task. Go change his light bulb. Go change his doorknob. Just do that stuff. This guy would not do any of it. So I would go looking for him with the work orders. Hey man, why this ain't done? It's just a doorknob. I don't stress about you. I don't care about you, man. Just do these simple tasks. This guy would be in the back in the closet because he wanted to be in entertainment. He'd be like, man, I'm writing my movies. Mother.
He had a dream.
And go fix
to do something else.
Then to come to find out, years later, after I left there,
he became successful in entertainment.
No, this mother sucker was getting paid the same amount of money. Y'all, if he goes to court for anything,
you testify.
And they say, and he says, look, I'm a facility manager and I know how to work with my hands. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? This is Greg Goolsby. Yeah, I used to work with such and such. Yeah, look, put me on that stand.
That's hilarious.
And I'm gonna bring a tool bag with me. Like, name this tool, sir. And what's his function? Please.
If he comes across this episode ever,
Hey, I hope you see it. Trump, I wanted to slap you so many times.
All right, sir.
Then this guy, yes, I hope you do see this.
All right.
And if you do see it and you know I'm talking about you, hey, hit dog or holler, playboy.
All right. Well,
he made off, man.
I want to know if y'all would testify against y'all's bosses about y'all coworkers. Let me know. No,
coworker.
Put it in the comments if you would or would not testify.
I'm coming.
Are you not even if you're called? I want to know if would you call? Would you call to be like, hey, I have information. I will testify.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it? I want to know.
I'm coming.
All right, let me play. I don't remember if I played 6 or 7. I'm gonna play this one. Hold on.
And Mel knows.
Hey, Mel, Greg, and fellow co-counsel Coco here. And I'm going to try to get this all in. So my objection is to the au pair. I've got 3 points. 1, the au pair needs to get time beyond time served because even in her version of the story, she killed somebody. Ma'am, that's life. Number 2, he was out there telling lies that couldn't be proven. Like, did he think no one from his past job was going to be like, wait, what meeting? What meeting? People, no. And also on him, he said, that's not my best friend. And then proceeded to say a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. And as the terrible liar that he is, also gives a reply, oh, they weren't together at that time. The prosecutor was so stumped with how dumb his lie was. It's like a parent whose kid says, oh, no, I didn't write that on the wall. The dog did. Sir, you're dumb and you need extra time just for being stupid.
You need extra time just for being stupid is hilarious.
She believes that I concur, not concur, sustain.
Sustain.
Do they mean the same thing?
Concurrence. Well, I just was saying sustain,
sustain.
For the court lingo.
Coco believes that somebody would call up and be like, no, we didn't have a meeting.
That's what she just said?
Basically. Like, sir, you don't think any of your employees are going to be like, hey.
Well, she's saying he's dumb for not thinking somebody would be able to say he's lying, which is, I agree. That's it's giving a little narcissism. Like, I'm smarter than everyone here. Nobody not realizing that. Hello, idiot. This is being strange.
The type of work you do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And people who it's not, I love that people who knew him would be watching this trial. So like to think that people are not going to figure out that you're a lie. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Let me play this last one.
Okay. So after looking into this case, I'm going to be honest. I don't really believe Brendan, but I also don't really believe Juliana either. I do think Brendan wanted Christine dead. The affair with his living au pair already looks bad, but then you add him saying he couldn't divorce because of money and custody, and then lying about having a work meeting that his own boss said never existed. Yeah, that hurt him more than anything else. But Juliana's story doesn't sit right with me either. I mean, she didn't warn Christine. She didn't go to police. She didn't leave. And after the murders, she's in the hotel letting the child call her mommy. I mean, that's not somebody shocked by a tragedy. That sounds like somebody who thought a promotion just opened up. Okay. But look, the biggest part for me is she protected Brendan for a year while she was in jail. Then the moment prosecutors offer a deal, suddenly there's a very detailed story that puts almost everything on him. I'm not saying she lied, but she definitely had a reason to tell it that way. Look, also, that setup doesn't really work alone. The forgotten lunch, the phone call, him arriving right on time like a movie hero. I mean, that requires cooperation inside the house. That looks less like a mastermind and more like two people with the same plan. I mean, so no, I don't think she deserved life, but time served, I can't go there. Someone's planning to kill their spouse and you stay and help and protect them for a year. You weren't just caught in it, you were part of it. Okay.
He dropped a couple bars. I like it. I agree. Fully agree.
Yeah.
If she gets, it's on Friday. I'll make a video obviously after it happens, but if she only gets time served, I would be really surprised and what a slap in the face to both of the families of these victims, particularly particularly Joe Ryan's family, because her shot was the kill shot. It was the one who killed him. And she had said on the stand, she did it. So she, made that shot. So it just feels like such a slap in the face if she is like, gets out on time served. I would be crazy.
And for her to have stayed in jail a whole year.
Yeah, writing him letters,
protecting this
honey.
man.
Writing him all the love letters. What ended up happening is he got arrested. And once he got arrested finally, she was like, oh, okay, well, looks like I can turn on him now and give me the deal and I'll go with it. So anyway, sad, very sad story. So unnecessary. Definitely broke my heart. And I'm very curious to see how much time she gets. I'm curious what this judge is going to rule, but that's that.
I want to die in my bed
Hello?
at 99, 100 years old, or doing something I like. I don't want to be no victim of some randomness that these crazy folk got going.
Yeah.
That's
I have
Yeah.
another objection I want to play.
Oh, you do?
But before I do, I want to say this is going to come out on Friday, and I am hoping and praying that by that time I am able to have at least my first video, at least my first one, or even by Saturday, hopefully before Monday of next week. I'm hoping that I'm able to have my first video out on the Georgia versus Edric Faust case. That is a case, obviously, like I said, in Georgia, of which it's a cold case that after 23 years, investigators were able to do some retesting of some DNA, because obviously that stuff kind of advances over time. So they were able to retest some DNA. And as a result of retesting DNA that was found the victim, her name was Tara Baker. She was found dead in her apartment in 2001. Her apartment was set on fire, and, police investigated and all of that, but they were not able to make any arrests. So it goes cold. Time passes. 2024, they do some retesting of the DNA, and it leads them to this man named Edric Faust, a black guy. She was a white girl who went to UGA law school. So he has now been he was arrested, and he has a number of charges: felony murder, malice murder, a number of charges. And so he is on trial right now. There have been a lot of commentary. A lot of people, I've gotten so many DMs of people being like, you're not covering this, you need to cover this. I've been watching, but I'm not doing a daily recap, obviously. So I'm just trying to get to a point in which it feels like I'm at a point where I can make the first video. I want to be able to tell the story and also include some things. There's a lot of commentary on this case, particularly about the defense attorney. I was prepared to go through some of the things that I feel about that defense attorney and some of the things that have happened, but we've been here for a while, so I won't, because we'll be here for another hour if I do. But if you watch this video, if I release this video to the public and my video for Faust has not come out yet, just know that it's coming. And I fully intend for it to be a topic for next week's podcast episode, okay? I intend for us to discuss this case. So either wait for my video or catch up, but my video is coming, and there are some things I want to say about that case. So just know it's coming. It's an interesting case for sure. Okay, and now I want to play.
Hey, Mel and Greg and the co-counsel. It's your girl, Tiff P. And I have some objections. My first objection is to the Brock case and his lawyer saying, on the appeal bond thing, he may die in jail. Sir, have several seats, because there are plenty of people, guilty, innocent, all of the above, that die in jail waiting for an appeal. So have several seats. I don't care about it. Cry me a river, build a bridge, and jump off it, because ain't nobody got time for that. He shouldn't have shot and killed somebody who was trying to leave. Second of all, I'm in cybersecurity, and it is so reactive instead of proactive. And with all this technology, there's no way they should not have found these scammers by now. My second objective is to the Isaiah Ross case. I don't understand, to me, how they found him guilty on second degree and hung on Miss Lyric. The problem is that you cannot confirm time of death. So you don't know who died first. I believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle between his story, Christian's story, and whatever the police story is. But yeah. And then kids, y'all ain't got grannies and stuff that be watching the NCIS and the CSI and all of that, because y'all should know you gonna get caught.
Oh, it ended there. Agreed. You are going to get caught. 100%. Okay, let me play the next one.
Hi, first time caller or objectioner. I love the Facebook posts and gonna figure out how to get to the podcast so I can make more comments and listen. I think what you're doing is wonderful. But on Aaron Spencer, oh my God, as a father, when I heard your summary, I was in my car screaming as well. I respect it, and I'm trying to figure out where I can donate to his campaign because, man, oh man, I wish I could have helped him do it. But thank you for what you do.
That whole objection was hilarious. I don't even know how to find the podcast, but I appreciate it. I have been posting consistently over on Facebook, and that page is growing. So thank you. I hope you're able to find us as well. And thank you for calling in and being a first timer. Go ahead. Sorry.
You have to set precedent when it comes to certain things in your life. Don't play with people's kids.
Yeah. 100%.
Period. Like you should.
And there's so many updates to that case. I've recorded the video and haven't posted.
People should know off rip. There shouldn't be no question, man. You touch my child, it's over for you.
Yeah.
And that should decrease the amount of craziness that be happening. You, let alone this man just coming to my house and taking my child away.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He said, I wish I would have been there to help him.
I sustain that objection. I sustain.
Okay, last one.
Hi, Greg and Mel. I don't have an objection, but I do want to second your motion, Mel, of our people actually attending jury duty. There's a stigma where, us Black people don't like to go to jury duty. We will throw away the notices, or we will come up with excuses to not go. In reality, it is harming our community because we know we are arrested at a higher rate. So more than likely, you might be sitting on a jury for someone who is of color, and representation matters. Even when I think about the Alicia Andrew case and the lawyers reading text messages or not understanding the context of a little Black girl who has a boyfriend who just rides around with her boyfriend. And you might not know where your man is going, but that's your man. So you going too. So I just think as far as context is concerned, because we have a context of our culture, we do need to start going to jury duty. Absolutely. So I just want to second that motion, and I love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for dialing in. I am happy. I'm happy we can end on that note because I agree. Make sure you go to jury duty. If you get a summons, you call up there every day. You make your calls and wait for them to tell you to show up. Because if you can, because obviously our jury system is not great in America. They won't be paying you. And if you have a job that there are issues with the jury system. If you have the ability to, okay, if you can do so without it being a hardship to you and your loved ones, let me encourage you to do so because it does matter. People's perspectives matter, life experiences matter, and making sure you have a voice in a room of people who may not share the same life experiences as you or the defendants is important. You have the ability to speak up for those people if you see it a different way. And so all of that matters. So please, 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 that is my mantra. Go to jury duty if you get called. Don't throw it away. And don't tell people to not go. Don't repeat that narrative that like, oh, jury duty. I think that also is the part we have to change how we talk about jury duty, because for the longest I felt like I didn't want to go, not because I really didn't want to go, but because that's what I thought I was supposed to say. It's all I ever heard was people be like, jury duty. I'm trying to get out of jury duty. So when I finally got my first one, I was like, I got to get out of jury duty. And somebody was like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I thought we were supposed to say that. Mind you, I have a job that I would have gotten paid for being at. It's not like my life would have been affected massively had I actually been selected. I just happened to not be selected, but my life would have not been affected had I been selected.
Yeah.
So I think we also just have to like change the narrative around it, and make it a positive thing and make it, it is your quote unquote civic duty, but even that is like meaningless. Like a lot of people are like, well, sure, whatever. But what that really means is you have the ability to speak up, and speak on behalf of your life experiences and the fact that it may mirror somebody in a defendant's chair. And that may be important for their life, So anyway, you should go if you have the ability. If you get one and you have the ability without it being a hardship on your life, you should go. That's all I have.
I concur.
All right.
You can catch me.
Hold on. Somebody in the Patreon just said I was on a 3-month jury for an unaliving for a murder. 3 months is wild. You'll have to, if you ever want to come on here and tell us your story, you're more than welcome to tell us what that experience was like for being on a jury for 3 months. Oh my gosh. I would be so curious to hear your experience. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just putting it out there. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your objections. Again, you can go to speakpipe.com/ImNotALawyerBut to leave those. We love getting them and playing them. You can make sure to follow me on at ImNotALawyerBut on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me, share the episode if you enjoy it, tell people about it. We need the numbers. I think that's it.
And you can find me on IG. That's at GOOLZBY. And court is adjourned.
Amen.